Hey, it's Denver. I want to congratulate you on completing Module 2 of my Premiere Pro color training. You now have the tools at your disposal to complete the first part of the color grading workflow, which is building your base correction. For the most part, we've done this in isolation, meaning we've just corrected one shot at a time. We know how to adjust for exposure, balance color, use the secondary tools to perfect the colors, and even add focus or relight the shots using shapes. But now we need to apply our corrections across an entire scene or even an entire project so that there's consistency in our work. We'll start Module 3 by looking at some options in Adobe Premiere for applying your corrections to multiple clips at the same time so you can be efficient as possible as you work through your timeline. In this timeline, I have 7 clips, 5 of them which are unique shots, with a few instances of the same clip appearing multiple times. I've applied a base correction to the second and last clips, but instances of those same shots appear multiple times in the timeline. If I want to apply the correction from the second shot to the next time it appears, we have a few options. By the way, these corrections have already been applied to the Premiere project that was included with your exercise files. So one way to get this correction onto both of those clips is to click on the first instance of the shot and press Command-C on the keyboard to copy, then move to the second instance and go to Edit, then Paste Attributes. We'll check off everything but Lumetri Color and click OK. What this does is it copies and pastes the Lumetri effect from one clip to the other. However, the problem with this strategy, if we go back to make changes to the correction, it won't apply it to both clips simultaneously. So this is where grading the master clip comes into play. In the Effects panel and the Lumetri Color panel, you'll see a tab labeled Master. If we click on Master, we'll actually be grading the master shot as opposed to each individual instance of the clip in the timeline. Let me show you how this works. Now on this shot, we already have a correction on the clip itself, not the master clip, but that's okay. This is a quick fix. In the Effect Controls panel, click on the Lumetri Color effect and press Command or Control X on the keyboard to cut the effect. Then click on the Master panel and press Command or Control V to paste the effect. Now this is a master Lumetri Color effect, not just a clip-based one. Now when we go back to the first instance of the shot, wait a second, that doesn't look right. There's still that clip-based correction on the shot, so the effect is essentially being doubled. To fix that, I'll delete that instance of Lumetri Color. There, that's better. Now here's where this is really powerful. If, say, I changed my mind on the shadow level, I could go into the master clip correction and raise the blacks control. Now when we go to the other clip, the very same correction is applied there as well. Now let's try another shot that has a more complex correction applied to it. If I move to the last clip, you'll see 3 Lumetri Color effects added. The top instance is the base correction, the second changes the color of the butterfly logo, and the bottom uses a track shape that adds focus to the woman in the middle. So we'll again need to get these corrections onto the other instance of the shot at the beginning of the timeline. While we could do the same master clip cut and paste technique we used for the previous shots, there is a complication. Unfortunately, you can't use shapes on effects in the master clip. Our first 2 Lumetri effects would transfer just fine, but the focus effect would not. So here's an alternative way to transfer the corrections using presets. I'll move to the Effects panel, and in Presets, I'll right-click to add a new Presets bin. I'll label this bin Construction Looks. Now in the Effect Controls panel, I'll Command or Control-click the 3 Lumetri Color effects. Then right-click on any one of them and select Save Preset. I'll name this preset Worker 3 Shot, and click OK. Now I can move to the first shot and drag that effect onto the clip. It saved all 3 of our Lumetri effects into the same preset. Really cool. Now all I need to do is to go back to the bottom instance of Lumetri and resize, reposition, and retract the focus shape. Give me just a moment while I finish this. There we go. Now the correction is applied and the shape follows the woman. Okay, as a final option for grade management, I want to look at using adjustment layers. In the middle of the timeline, we have 3 shots that are side by side and look relatively similar. So I'll right-click in the project window, go to New Item, then Adjustment Layer, and click OK. I'll drag the adjustment layer on top of the clips, making sure to extend it so it covers all 3 shots. Then I'll add a Lumetri Color effect to it. With the adjustment layer selected and using the Basic Corrections panel, I'll make a quick base correction that I think works for this shot. Now when I play through it, you'll see that the correction is applied to all 3 shots. That looks pretty good for the first 2 clips, but the third shot is appearing much too dark. So an option to fix this is to split the base grade up so essentially the third clip gets its own instance. Using the razor tool, I'll click in between the second and third clip in our sequence. And then with the selection tool, I'll click back on the adjustment layer and make some adjustments in the basic correction panel to brighten the shot. Looking good, and that was much faster than correcting all 3 shots individually. So I hope these few tips and tricks will help you to become more efficient as you work on grading your projects. In the next section, we'll get more in depth into shot-to-shot matching.